Entitled parents, malicious compliance. I don't work here, lady, get your own appliance. Kevins and Karens and beggars galore. These are the things that story time is for.
What is up, my dudes? Welcome to Storytime with your favorite Reddit fairy. My name is Lorna, and today we've got Subscriber Submitted Stories Sunday. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to read is from a friend of mine I met through the Smule karaoke app. And I saw this in my Facebook feed, and I asked her if I could read it on my video because I thought it was really funny. So I'm gonna call her... let's call her Selena. So Selena took her kid to see Santa at the mall, and this is how it went down. Santa: "Hello there, Cash. What would you like this Christmas?" Cash: "I need some Gucci, a Tesla, $1 million, and some Balenciaga shoes." Santa: "I'm not sure about all that. Just hope you don't get coal." As we start walking away, he runs back up to old St. Nick's face, taking his pointed finger. And Cash says, "You better bring me my list, Santa. I'm not playing with you. You are rude, right, Mom?" So, after Cash threatened Santa at the mall last night and embarrasses the heck out of me, I'm pretty sure this will be his last visit with the old ho-ho-ho man. Oh. I already read this story and it still makes me laugh. Oh, that kid. Thug life. Oh my god, he threatened Santa. Oh, my dudes, this kid's gonna grow up to be something. Okay, so the next story is by our own TCookie88. And she posted this one in r/Reddit Fairy, and this one is called "I held on to that receipt my entire shift. r/talesfromfastfood. Hey Reddit Fairy, long time no post. Hey, what's up, girl?" This happened last week, and this is my first time posting this on Reddit instead of venting about it to my friends. LOL. Maybe you could share in my frustration. It was right after we opened when this happened. An older woman comes in, goes onto the kiosk, and orders a ton of food. 3 hot dogs, 2 slices of pizza, 1 cheese and 1 deluxe, and 3 pretzels, plain. I make the order, call out the number. The woman comes to collect said order. Then she calls me over. Her: "There's no salt on these pretzels." Me: "I had thrown away the receipt by now, but I remembered that order. I forgot I threw away the receipt, though. You ordered 3 plain pretzels." Her: "Nah, I didn't. I ordered salted. I never get plain." Me, walking over to check if she had the receipt with the order on. I remember they were plain, but it could have been a misorder. Her: "I never get plain pretzels. Why would I get plain pretzels? Who would get plain pretzels?" Me: "Some people like plain pretzels." Her: "Are you really gonna argue with me about my pretzels? What is your name?" Me, gives her my full name. Her: "I need to talk to someone about your bad attitude." Me: "If you're willing to wait a few minutes, I can remake more with salt." Her: "I'm not leaving with plain pretzels." Me, takes the plain pretzels and trashes them before going into the back of the kitchen and remaking her pretzels as I silently curse her before taking them back. Here you go, salted pretzels. Her, takes them silently and leaves. I looked through the trash afterwards to find the receipt and to see if I wasn't just doubling down on a mistake. But no, she ordered 3 plain pretzels and got mad when she received it. I kept that receipt when I found it because I wanted the proof in case a manager came to confront me about it. No one did that day, and normally when people complain, they confront the associate immediately. So an empty threat to... what? Fix her pretzels like I was gonna anyway? I'm still mildly salty, pun intended, about it even though it happened a week ago. Oh, girl. I would be salty too, but don't ever give a customer your full name. Some people are crazy, girl. They'll stalk you on Facebook and just Give them your first name. That's all they need. But just like some people have no couth anymore. It's just ridiculous. Like, why can't you just admit that you were wrong? Girl, I feel you. Okay, the next story was emailed to me by Miss Kaylani Yates. So the subject says, "Oh, you're here to see that? Great. Hello again. As promised, here is another story related to my time living in a gang-infested area of Detroit. Now, this didn't happen in my husband's former neighborhood, but rather as a result of having lived there. On to the story. So when we last heard from our intrepid heroes, they had just escaped from the stomping grounds of the Del Rey Mafia via an 8-car police escort. It is now a few months after the escape, and they have now found a new home, moved in, and saved up about $100 to celebrate both their escape and their new accommodations. Now, this being the late 90s, $100 represents a significant amount of their income, and they are looking forward to their night out with anxious anticipation, as they have been living off of ramen noodles in order to save up for this night out. We now find our protagonists at a movie theater, having already enjoyed a really good steak dinner and purchased their movie tickets. They are now in line to get as much junk food as they can for $50. So, like a large popcorn and 2 candy bars. Just kidding. They ordered half a dozen or so candy bars, the largest popcorn available, 2 gallon-sized drinks, and were now waiting for the attendant to assemble their order. They were happily chatting away when a voice came from behind them. "Hey, S.A." As one, a singular thought shot through their minds at the exact moment. Oh, shit. They both recognized the voice as being Pedro's, a lieutenant in the Del Rey Mafia. They plastered cheerful smiles onto their faces and turned to greet their former neighbor. As to the smile that adorned Pedro's face, it told them that they were going to be in deep shit if a lack of witnesses should happen to occur, and that this meeting had been much anticipated. Paul spoke to Pedro first. "Hey, Pedro, what are you here to see? Did you come with your girlfriend?" Pedro's response confirmed their worst fears. Not only was he with 40 or so other gang members, but they were also there to see the same movie as our intrepid heroes. Oh boy. Trying to keep their cool, they gathered their snacks and drinks and headed for the theater, frantically praying that the gang members would decide to sit somewhere far, far away from them. Unfortunately, luck was not on their side. About 2 minutes after they chose their seats, they realized that the 40-plus gang members were now sitting in a semicircle that completely surrounded them. Well, shit. That sucks. Considering the fact that all parties involved had come to see the movie, Mortal Kombat, and lo and behold, these gang members played Mortal Kombat for real on a daily basis. This fact was highly ironic. To quote Stephen King, "Have a little irony, it's good for your blood." In any case, the intro music, the very same music that played at the beginning of each game of Mortal Kombat, came on and the gang members started going crazy, throwing their hands into the air. They, however, waved them around as if they cared quite a bit, and bouncing up and down in their seats. At this point, our hero and heroine exchanged a look that said everything. They both knew that, if they were caught alone in the parking lot after the movie, they would both be dying. However, our fair maiden would also have a bonus round of mass sexual assault inflicted upon her before she died. Yay! So, while the gangsters were hyping themselves up, the two of them calmly set a fortune's worth of movie snacks on the floor, got down on their hands and knees, and crawled out of the theater and off into the night without the slightest hint of embarrassment. It was, to say the least, a very interesting and expensive night. I have a couple of stories about an entirely different gang and a drug raid that we got dragged into as well, if you're interested. There never is a dull moment in the magical kingdom of Detroit. LOL. Girl, you know I'm always interested in hearing stories, so yes, send them my way. But my question is, did you end up seeing Mortal Kombat after that? Did you? Because that would be an ultimate travesty if you did not. Alright, so the next story was submitted quite a while ago. Looks like almost a month ago. I'm sorry, Percy. I've been waiting on people to get back to me for these no-sleep stories, and nobody's getting back to me but Percy. So, I'm gonna read Percy's no-sleep story now. I'm gonna do this for on Sundays going forward. Anytime I have a lot of subscriber-submitted stories, I'm gonna just try to do them on one day, so you guys always know when to look for your stories in particular. So, without further ado, this one is called My Curiosity Isn't Safe Anymore. Posted by user Percy_285. I'm here to tell you that you should warn your kids about their curiosity. If they don't learn it as a child, there might be no other chance to keep them from doing this and save them. I myself was always curious, and no one warned me about the dangers that could be behind it. I found myself wandering around lost places, always trying to see new and interesting things. In my childhood, I was always wandering around town, in the woods and everywhere I could go with my bike. I found some interesting and scary things. I can't remember them, but I have some of them written down in my diaries as kind of a therapy because no one believes me after I told them about the things I've seen. Everyone told me that I'm crazy, and I was bullied because of that and called a freak. I'll try to find my diaries because I recently moved and haven't been able to unpack all of my things. The important thing is that I tell you the most recent thing I've seen, and this time, I got hurt. Not once have I been injured in the past because of my curiosity. I was always safe. I thought and will be in the future. That was a big mistake. I have to be more careful the next time. I still like the adrenaline rushing through me when I walk into abandoned places, but this was something else. I'm 25 now and work for the railways as an electrician. I was at a train station and was getting ready for work. I took my tools, checked if I had everything, and then talked with a guy working for the station. Turned out I had to wait to start my work at least a quarter of the hour, so I had some time to kill. Walking a bit north of the train station along the tracks, I found an entrance underground. It looked dark down there. My curiosity kicked in and I had to go down to see what things I could find and what this might have been used for. I walked a bit down the stairs and noticed that I'd forgotten my flashlight. My car was a bit far away and I really wanted to go down. Also, it was afternoon and the darkness was coming faster than I thought. So I had no choice if I wanted to go down there to use my mobile phone as a light source. I went down to the bottom of the steps and turned the light on my mobile phone on. It wasn't a good light, but better than nothing. It smelled a bit of sulfur as I was getting down the steps. There was no door, just a long hallway fading into the dark. I walked a bit into the darkness, moving the light mostly on the ground in front of me that I don't trip over anything. As I was moving the light around, I found a door to my left with a little window. I looked through it, but couldn't see anything, so I held my phone up to try to see something. I thought I saw something inside and tried to open the door, but it wouldn't open. I then walked along the hallway deeper inside. I stepped over some garbage and found lockers. When I moved the light a bit around, I saw a table next to the lockers, and a black cat jumped down and ran off. I stood there for a moment and was shook, my adrenaline levels rising. But I quickly calmed down a bit. I mean, it was just a cat, right? I opened locker after locker, but nothing was inside. I took a look at my watch and saw that I had to get back to start working. I turned around and started to walk back to the entrance. The sulfur smell was getting stronger and stronger. I hadn't noticed before that it was that strong. After walking a while, I saw the door. The door was now slightly opened. Wasn't the door closed before and I couldn't open it? I stopped on the spot and suddenly saw an orange light coming out of the door. The light was moving like fire. I slowly went up to the door and opened it slightly to take a look inside. It was dark again. I couldn't see anything. I opened the door a bit more and stepped inside. I took a look around with my light and couldn't see anything, what could have been the source of the fire-like light. The smell of sulfur was like it had been before when I went down the stairs. I turned around because I really had to go back now. All of a sudden, the light was there again, behind me. I froze and then turned slowly around. And there it was, a human-like figure, burning. She slowly walked towards me. The smell of sulfur was stronger than before. It made me sick and it was getting hot. The figure reached me and put their hand towards my arm and touched me. I felt the hand and screamed out of pain. I used a self-defense technique to get out of the grip, turned around and ran as fast as I could. I hit the door with my hand and my phone almost fell down to the floor. I got out of the door and ran up the stairs into the darkness. After a few 100 meters, I calmed down a bit, getting slower into a walking pace and looked down at my arm. There was a burn mark in the shape of a hand. I slowly turned around and looked if the burning person was following me. I couldn't see anything. I went to my car, poured water over my arm, and looked at the mark in disbelief. I calmed down and put on a sweater, as no one would believe me what had happened down there. I couldn't believe that I got hurt. For the first time in my life, my curiosity got me hurt. I sat in the car for a few minutes and then got to work. I was so tired after work that I immediately fell asleep when I got home. What I've seen haunted me in my dreams. I still couldn't figure out what had happened. What was this person doing? What had happened to her? I thought about what I should do to warn people about what happened. I thought it wasn't real because I was very tired at that moment. My arm says it was. I still have the mark. Before you ask, I won't say where this happened because I don't want anyone to get hurt. It's too late for me. I was curious as a kid and still am, but you should warn your kids that something like this won't happen to them. Please beg your children to not be as curious as me and to always stay safe. It might not be too late for them. Keep them safe. My dude, that's freaking creepy, and I would love to hear a second part about what this mark is doing to, well, you. Alright, my dudes, I'm gonna get into some comments on some videos now. So there were a couple of short stories, I guess, that were posted in the comments of some of my videos, so let's do those right now. So this is another one from Kaylani Yates. She says, I remember reading a story about a delivery truck that got wedged under an overpass. The company that owned the truck called in every specialist that they could find to try to work this out. However, after a few hours of trying to figure out how to free the truck, the experts conceded defeat. They couldn't find a single solution to the problem. By sheer luck, a 7-year-old boy and his mother had stopped to see what was going on. Once they had been informed of what was happening, the boy grew quiet and distant. After a few minutes, the boy called out to the experts. Thinking that the boy simply wanted to ask them about their jobs, they went to see what the boy wanted to know. The boy looked at them and said, "Why don't you just let the air out of the tires?" There was a great deal of face-palming among the assembled, but the truck was swiftly removed from the underpass. LOL. What a smart little boy. I love it. That kid's gonna grow up to be something. If he's able to do that kind of problem solving at 7 and make a whole group of adults look like idiots, yeah, he's going places. That's awesome. Okay, and this next one is from Corinne Shipway. She says, I once worked with a lady who was the nicest, most polite person, but she got flustered sometimes, and when asked why she refused to move from temp to permanent, she randomly came up with, "Because I don't like your face." It was adorable. This is the same woman who tattled on herself to our manager for dropping the F-bomb once because of a particularly trying coworker. And I was over here like, I thought that was just an everyday word. What the fuck? That story was just random because when you said, "I don't like your voice," my brain auto-corrected it to, "I don't like your face." It became a thing at work for when we didn't have a specific reason for not wanting to do or approve something. I've started using it at home with my sister and son too. It's very useful. Feel free to adopt it. P.S. I do work in a corporate IT environment, but at the time I was working as the IT manager at a not-for-profit company in the health space. I'm kinda chatty today. I might stalk your sub tonight. I've been meaning to share some stories. If they're as good as that, then yes, please share away. I want to make this a thing. Subscriber submitted stories Sundays. Always on Sundays. I want to do this every week if I can. So you guys get those stories in, my dudes. Okay, and the last comment is from Teresa Teague, I think. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. So she says, the heroin lady could be true. I had a lady scream at me once for drinking while pregnant. I am not pregnant. I have an abdominal hernia from surgery and I am waiting for it to be repaired, so I have a slight bulge in my lower abdomen. I tried to explain this to screaming woman that it was a hernia, not a baby, and that I am 50 years old. I left having babies behind 20 years ago when I had my last child. She wouldn't shut up. Oh my god. So this is from, I think, one of my entitled parents videos. Let me zoom in on this thing here. I can't see what video it was. Yep, entitled, it's too squished, I can't see which episode it was, but it's the one with the little Lego guys and the balloons and everything on the thumbnail. But yeah, that's, some people, man, like, they just don't have any couth anymore. It's what I'm saying. Like, have some couth, my dudes. You just can't run around telling, you know, like, especially strangers. You don't know people, like, I've actually witnessed it where somebody asked somebody when they're due, and they weren't pregnant. They're just kind of a heftier, like, a little heavier of a person. I don't want to sound like an asshole by saying that, but they were a little heavy, okay? So this random person thought that they were pregnant, and this heavier person was smoking. They're like, how dare you, you're gonna kill your baby, and all that kind of stuff, asking, like, how far, she looks like she's really far along or something. I don't remember the exact details. Like I said, I'm not a great storyteller. Well, I'm a good storyteller, I'm not a good story writer. So, yeah, this girl was not pregnant, and it turned into, like, an all-out, like, slap fight. It was kind of hilarious and not at the same time, because I felt really bad for the girl who was being told she was a horrible mother for smoking while she's pregnant when she wasn't even pregnant. So I totally believe this because I've seen it happen myself. Like, people are just ridiculous. Like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand. I just don't. Alright, my dudes, that's all the stories I've got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this special Sunday edition of subscriber submitted stories. Let me know if you want me to keep this going, because that means I'm doing 6 days a week of videos for you guys. So yeah, let me know. Is that too much? Did you like this theme? Should I keep doing it? Because I mean, I assume you guys like it because you keep sending me your stories. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your suggestions, constructive criticism, all that fun stuff. And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos just like this one, so you'll never miss one. And the links, as always, are in the description. Unfortunately, this time there's only 2 links to the stories that are in my subreddit, because those are the only 2 posted in my subreddit to link to. So show those posters some love with some upvotes. They're part of your peers, so definitely give them some upvotes and submit your stories. I am sounding like a broken record. I know. I'm going to end this now. You guys have a fantabulous weekend. I will see you tomorrow in our episode for r/choosing beggars. Rock on, my dudes.